Hey guys, welcome back to another sports debate video. So for today's video, we're going to be debating on whether or not we think Tom Brady's 7 rings is the hardest record to beat or to reach in all of football, all of NFL history. So to start off with this topic, we're going to head on over to Dash.
Yes, Tom Brady's great. Yes, 7 rings is an unimaginable amount, especially for a person drafted in the 6th round. No, it is not the hardest record to break. And the hardest record to break is actually a record that most of these fans don't like. And it's the Buffalo Bills losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. Because you know how hard that is to make 4 Super Bowls in a row, period? But then you also know how hard it is to lose all 4, because fate isn't even in your hands. Fate is in your hands to at least win one of them. But then you have to think to yourself, okay, well, players who have won the conference twice in a row and then lost twice, they start questioning their head coach. They start questioning their organization. You know what they do? They leave. They go to a rebuilding team. They go to a team that they lost to in the Super Bowl. 4 losses in a Super Bowl in a row is impossible.
So, I really like that take. I didn't see that. So I really like that take. Like, I
didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
I didn't think that was coming. And, like, to your point about people leaving and being frustrated and stuff, like, the Legion of Boom broke up after 1 Super Bowl. And that they barely lost. And, like, the Seahawks, potential dynasty crumbled. But, for my take, I'm going to also go a little bit of hot take, but not as much as yours. But 7 rings, like you said, is great, but I'm going to go, maybe there's some bias in it, I'm going to go Peyton Manning's 5 MVPs. Because we saw it with Patrick Mahomes this year, and although I think Aaron Rodgers deserved it, like, after you win 1 or 2 MVPs and you're known as the best player in the football, like, people get tired of that, and they're rooting for other people. They're looking for reasons to vote other people as MVP. So for Peyton Manning to be the best player in football, or like the most valuable, I guess, and be that consistent for 5 times, like not even LeBron James, which is easier to win MVP in basketball in my opinion, has 5 MVPs. So I think that's just ridiculous, and I don't think anyone's gonna come close to beating that.
And yeah, I like both of yours are they're very good. Like for when it comes to MVPs, like you said, I agree with the point where it's very hard. People get tired. Like LeBron probably would have so many more MVPs, but people don't want to say it. And the Buffalo one, that was a great one, Dash. I didn't think of that. But for the 7 rings, I still think that's going to be one of the hardest, if not the hardest, to break. Simply because one, you need to play for like as long as Brady did. You're not going to win a Super Bowl every year. You're not going to win a Super Bowl every other year. You need to play for a long, long time. And I mean, it might be a little easier because NFL does care more about the safety. But in a game like football, you're not going to see many players who are going to play 20 plus years, around 20 years. And not just that, you have to be the best of the best. You have to be at the top of your game at the age of 40 if you want to get to 7 Super Bowls. And if you want to not only make 7 Super Bowls, but to win 7 Super Bowls, to make it 7 times is hard enough. But then to win it 7 times, you got to be at the top of your game. You got to make sure that everything around you falls in place. You got to have the right coaches, good defense, good playmakers on your side of the ball. Got to be one of the best in the game. I mean, it's just everything has to fall in place for you to go to 7 Super Bowls and then win 7 Super Bowls. I think that's going to be one of the hardest things to break.
So, yeah, I mean, all of us, I think, came up with like really hard records to beat. 7 rings, I think that's the second most difficult thing to do, because I still firmly believe that like 5 MVPs is like that's just crazy. Like people just get tired of one of you being the MVP, and like I said, they're just gonna look for reasons to vote other players. So I'm really proud of Peyton Manning. He's my favorite player ever. For him to be able to do that, like, I think that's just ridiculous.
I think when weighing like how easy something is to win or to be the hold the record, you have to consider how many factors are at play. And so yes, winning 5 MVPs is like impossible, but I think it's likely to happen again. because I think there's going to be a player who takes the league by storm, and I think that player might be in this league right now in Patrick Mahomes. I genuinely believe that. I mean, he's played 3 years and he's already been MVP once, and then I understand winning 7 MVPs or 7 finals, but 7 Super Bowls. But I think I feel like that is a record that could be broken by a bench player. Like, you know how like in basketball there was a guy who won like 5 rings because he was a bench player for the Warriors and he was a bench player for the Raptors. Like,
Patrick McCaw.
yeah,
He
yeah,
went
yeah.
3 for 3 his first years.
Yeah, I feel like that can happen again. And I feel like if you just are lucky, if there's another Bill Belichick, if there's another player like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, especially with these safety rules, I feel like that's likely to break again. But I don't think 4 straight losses in the Super Bowl is ever going to happen again, because as soon as a team loses 2 in a row, they implode.
Like, not even the Patriots dynasty at their peak made more than 3 Super Bowls
Yes.
in a row.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
true.
impressive enough to make 4 in a row, but then to lose. I don't know. Who knows? You might see the Chiefs at least make them, but I don't think obviously they're going to lose all 4.
Yeah, I don't
So
think Mahomes would lose 4 in a row. I just want to see Mahomes doing that.
With their,
it's really crazy though that actually happened.
yeah, I mean, and that would mean that Patrick Mahomes has to be in 5 straight Super Bowls because he won his first. That'd be 4 losses in a row. He's already have one. He already has one, but like, imagine that. And then they also have to pay Chris Jones. They have to pay Patrick Mahomes. That's just another incentive. They won't be able to sign free agents. They won't be able to sign all these really good players they have on their team because they have signed
And-
these centerpieces.
Like,
And,
it's
yeah,
impressive enough to build a Super Bowl contending roster that makes it 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
But then it's even more
Yeah.
impressive in a sense to like lose all of them, somehow lose.
And
all
like
of them.
that's like one of the reasons why Brady was so good is that he was willing to take a pay cut so like other free agents could sign. Like Mahomes, I mean, he just signed the biggest contract in like sports history, or at least in American sports
Yeah.
history. So, it's gonna be tough to get other free agents. So like, if you have a guy who's willing to take a pay cut at the quarterback position, who's at the top of his game, then you might be thinking that, hey, we can go, couple Super Bowls in a row, but not many players are willing to take a pay cut nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for Buffalo fans, but I just think that like, I don't think any team is ever going. I don't think any team in the near future is ever going to go to 4 straight Super Bowls, and then I don't think a team is ever going to lose 4 straight Super Bowls, because if you think about it, the Bills lost. They almost beat the Giants, but they lost by about 2 feet on a field goal at the end of the game.